In a bewildering turn of events at Austin Bergstrom International Airport, Elon Musk, the world's wealthiest individual, found himself unjustly detained due to a case of mistaken identity, sharing a holding cell with Marcus Williams, a young mechanic drowning in debt from unpaid traffic fines. For several hours, the billionaire CEO listened intently as Marcus shared his dream of launching an honest auto repair shop in his underserved neighborhood, unaware he was confiding in one of the planet's most influential figures. What unfolded next surpassed all expectations about wealth, privilege, and second chances. Without revealing his identity, Elon discreetly arranged to clear Marcus's debts and fund his education, a gesture that marked the beginning of a mentorship that challenged both men's views on success and societal impact. The reflection Elon later offered on this life-altering encounter will leave you stunned. The confusion originated from a mix-up at the bustling Austin Bergstrom International Airport. Elon Musk was returning from a low-key business trip, traveling unusually modestly without his customary entourage or security detail. Opting for a commercial flight and dressed in casual attire, jeans, a plain black t-shirt, and a baseball cap pulled low over his eyes, he blended into the crowd of weary travelers navigating the noisy terminal. It had been an exhausting day. The morning was spent in meetings with potential partners for a renewable energy initiative, a project that inspired him but demanded intense focus. For once, no one stopped him for selfies or business pitches, and no reporters trailed him, speculating about the implications of his travel on stock prices. The anonymity, even for a few hours, was a welcome reprieve. As he waited at the baggage claim, Elon checked his phone and frowned at a low battery warning, down to 5% after forgetting to charge it during the flight. No matter, he thought, he'd be home soon. Detective Ray Martinez of the Austin Police Department was also at the airport, investigating a fraud case involving a suspect named Elias Maskey, wanted for embezzling nearly $250,000 from a local children's charity. When Martinez spotted a man roughly matching the suspect's description and overheard airport staff address him as Mr. Mask, he acted on what seemed a reasonable assumption. A seasoned officer in his early 50s with salt and pepper hair and the keen gaze of someone who had served 25 years on the force, Martinez had been tracking Maskey for weeks, following leads on the financial scam. Tipped that Maskey might arrive that day, he arrived armed with a photo of a tall, lean man with dark hair, a description that could fit hundreds of travelers passing through the terminal. Hearing an airline employee say, "Thank you for flying with us, Mr. Mask," his attention locked onto the man in the baseball cap. From Martinez's vantage point, the resemblance to the photo was striking: similar height, build, age, and the surname Mask. Maskey was close enough in name that it couldn't be mere coincidence. In his experience, suspects often used variations of their real names while traveling, thinking a slight tweak would evade detection. Approaching cautiously, Martinez watched the man's body language for signs of flight. "Excuse me, sir," he said, discreetly flashing his badge. "Detective Martinez, Austin PD, can I have a word?" The arrest was conducted with professionalism and quiet efficiency, and Elon cooperated fully, though puzzled by the accusations. "I believe there's been a mistake," he said calmly as Martinez outlined the charges. "I'm Elon Musk, not the person you're after." Elon's initial reaction was one of surprise rather than alarm. In his role, he had encountered unusual situations before, though never quite like this. He listened attentively as Martinez detailed the allegations against Elias Maskey: embezzlement, fraud, falsified financial records. "Detective, I understand you're doing your job," Elon said when Martinez finished, "but I can assure you I'm not that man, Elias Maskey. My name is Elon Musk. I run several companies, including Tesla and SpaceX." Martinez, not particularly versed in technology, news, or social media, didn't immediately recognize the name or face. To him, this was just someone matching a suspect's profile who claimed to be someone else, a common tactic in his line of work. "Sir, I've heard every story in the book," Martinez replied, firm but not harsh. "We can sort this out at the station. If it's a mistake, we'll clear it up quickly." Elon weighed his options. He could have made a scene, demanded to speak to a superior, or insisted on an immediate call to his lawyers. But something in the officer's straightforward professionalism gave him pause. The man was simply doing his duty based on the information at hand. "All right," Elon agreed with a slight nod. "Let's head to the station and figure this out." As they walked to the exit, Elon tried again. "Detective, if you just look me up online, you'll see who I am." "We'll handle it at the station, sir," Martinez responded, escorting him to a waiting police car. At the police station, the booking process proceeded routinely. Elon remained patient and polite, recognizing that the officers were acting on the information available to them. He requested permission to make a call, but his phone had died during the flight, and he couldn't recall a single phone number, a stark reminder of how reliant he had become on saved contacts. That evening, the central booking area of the Austin Police Department was busy. Staff efficiently handled the procedures of photographing, fingerprinting, and logging personal belongings. Elon surrendered his wallet, dead phone, and a few other items, receiving a labeled plastic bag in return. "I'd like to make a call," he requested after the booking officer took his details. "Of course, sir." "Who would you like to call?" the officer asked, leaning over a form. Elon hesitated, realizing with some surprise that he couldn't recall any numbers. Like most in the digital age, he depended entirely on his contact list. He knew the general switchboard numbers for his companies, but, after hours, no one would answer. "My phone's dead," he explained, "and I don't have any numbers memorized." The booking officer nodded, unfazed. "That happens all the time. You can try again later if you remember one." As Elon was led to a holding cell, he reflected on the strange vulnerability of his situation. The man who could command resources and garner attention with a single tweet was, for the moment, powerless, unable to verify his identity or reach someone to assist him. It was an unexpected lesson in how thin the veneer of privilege and protection could be. What followed turned the situation into something extraordinary. While waiting in the holding area for the mix-up to be resolved, Elon struck up a conversation with Marcus Williams. The young man, in his early 20s, had been detained for unpaid fines and a missed court appearance. The holding area was a large room with benches along the walls and a few plastic chairs in the center, occupied by about a dozen others, most sitting in silence, a few murmuring quietly. Elon took a seat on a bench, noting the harsh fluorescent lighting and the faint scent of disinfectant permeating the air. Next to him sat a young African-American man, appearing slightly over 20, dressed in worn jeans and a faded blue work shirt with a "Tony's Auto Shop" patch. His shoulders slumped with despair, and he frequently glanced at the wall clock with growing unease. After several minutes of silence, the young man looked at Elon. "First time?" he asked. Elon nodded. "Yes, a mix-up. They think I'm someone else." "That's tough," the man replied. "I'm Marcus. Marcus Williams." "Elon," he responded simply, omitting his surname. "What are you here for, if it's not a secret?" Marcus was visibly agitated and upset, explaining to anyone willing to listen that he had missed a court date because he was caring for his ailing grandmother and couldn't afford time off work. Fines had piled up beyond his ability to pay, trapping him in a cycle he couldn't escape. "It's ridiculous," Marcus said, shaking his head. 6 months ago, I got a ticket for a busted taillight, but I couldn't fix it right away, so I got another fine. Then I missed a court date because my grandma had a stroke. And I was the only one to take her to the doctor." He ran a hand over his short-cropped hair, frustration evident. "They tacked on a penalty for missing court, then more when I couldn't pay the first ones. Now I owe over $3,000, and they're threatening jail if I don't settle up. The system just keeps adding more fines." Marcus spoke with despair. "I've been working 2 jobs, but it's never enough to clear the debt, and now my grandma needs meds I can't afford." Elon listened to Marcus's story with genuine attention. Here was a hard-working young man caught in a web of circumstances and a system that seemed designed to penalize the poor rather than address the root causes of poverty. As they talked, Elon learned that Marcus had studied auto repair at a local college but dropped out due to financial pressures, taking on multiple jobs to survive. I was halfway through a certification program, Marcus explained, a flicker of pride replacing his anxiety. I was top of my class, especially in the electric vehicle modules. That's where the future is, but then my grandma got sick, and I had to choose between school and extra work. It wasn't really a choice. His grandmother had raised him after his mother's death and his father's disappearance. She had worked 2 jobs to ensure he had what he needed growing up. Now that she needed him, there was no question what he would do. The thing is, Marcus continued, I know I could earn more if I just finished that program. Auto repair pays well, especially if you specialize in new tech. But right now, I'm stuck in this cycle. What would you do if those legal troubles were gone? Elon asked. Marcus's face brightened, and Elon saw hope in him for the first time. I'd finish the certification and open my own garage. There's a real need in my neighborhood for honest, affordable auto repair, but right now it's just a dream. As Marcus described his vision for a community-focused repair shop, Elon was struck by his practical knowledge and genuine passion. These weren't empty words. Marcus understood both the technical aspects of auto repair and the business needs of his community. He identified a genuine gap in services and had a clear plan to fill it. People in my neighborhood get ripped off, Marcus explained. They don't know much about cars, so repair shops charge them for work that isn't needed or use cheap parts and bill for premium ones. I want to change that. His dream included a transparent pricing system, a community education program to teach basic maintenance skills, and eventually internship opportunities for local kids interested in the trade. It was thoughtful, practical, and had the potential to transform his community. By this time, Detective Martinez had realized his error. A quick database check confirmed that Elon Musk was a renowned entrepreneur, not the fraud suspect he was pursuing. Mortified by his mistake, Martinez apologized, clarifying the confusion. In a small office away from the booking area, Martinez sat across from Elon, his face etched with regret. A computer screen between them displayed Elon's Wikipedia page and numerous news articles about him. Mr. Musk, I can't apologize enough for this error, Martinez said, his voice laced with genuine remorse. I made a wrong assumption based on a similar name and appearance. These things happen, Elon replied kindly. No harm done. You were doing your job with the information you had. His words were sincere. Despite the inconvenience, Elon recognized that law enforcement made quick decisions based on limited data. It was easy to criticize in hindsight, but at the moment, Martinez had acted on reasonable grounds with the evidence available. We'll process your release immediately, Martinez assured him. And of course, there'll be no record of this incident. Can we call someone for you? I understand your phone's dead. As paperwork for his release was prepared, Elon made an unexpected request. The young man I was talking to, Marcus Williams, could you tell me more about his situation? Still embarrassed by the wrongful detention, Martinez explained Marcus's circumstances. The cycle of fines, court fees, and penalties had created a debt that would take years to repay on his current income. Assuming he avoided further issues. Martinez acknowledged it was a troubling case. He seems like a good kid caught in a bad system. Aside from these minor violations, he has no criminal record, holds a steady job, and cares for his grandmother. But when fines start stacking up, it's hard for someone in his position to break free. What would it take to resolve this? Elon asked. Martinez calculated the total Marcus owed, about $3,000 in fines, fees, and penalties. For someone earning minimum wage, it might as well have been $1 million. Without hesitation, Elon arranged to pay off Marcus's debts in full, but he didn't stop there. Learning of Marcus's educational goals, he also secured funding for his college education and established a stipend allowing Marcus to focus on his studies rather than juggling multiple jobs. I'd like to set up a scholarship fund, Elon explained to a surprised Martinez, to cover his tuition and provide a living stipend so he can focus on earning his certification. Martinez was moved by the generosity. "That's very kind of you, Mr. Musk, especially considering how your evening began with us." Elon shrugged. "Sometimes the most interesting opportunities arise from unexpected places. Marcus has vision and determination. He just needs the financial pressure lifted to apply those qualities." With Martinez's assistance, Elon negotiated with the court clerk to clear Marcus's legal debt. Then, using the detective's phone, he contacted his assistant to establish the scholarship fund. The entire process took less than an hour, during which Marcus remained unaware of what was happening. When Marcus was called to the reception area and informed that his legal troubles were resolved and his education funded by an anonymous benefactor, he broke down in tears. The weight of constant financial stress and legal worries vanished in a moment he couldn't have imagined possible. Standing at the counter, Marcus stared at the court clerk in disbelief as she explained that his fines were fully paid and a scholarship had been set up in his name at the local college, covering tuition and providing a monthly stipend. This can't be real," he stammered. Convinced there was a mistake, he asked, "Who would do this? Why? Who would do this for me?" turning to Detective Martinez. Martinez glanced at Elon, who gave a slight shake of his head. "Sometimes good things just happen," the detective said. "Don't question it, take the opportunity." Marcus wiped his eyes, overwhelmed by the sudden turn of fortune. "I will," he promised. "I'll make whoever did this proud of me." As Marcus gathered his belongings, still reeling from the unexpected development, Elon approached him. "Looks like you've got some good news," he said casually. "Man, I don't even know how to process this," Marcus replied, shaking his head in amazement. "Someone just paid off all my fines and set up a scholarship for me, just like that. I don't even know who or why." "Maybe someone saw potential in you," Elon suggested. "In what you talked about earlier, your idea for a different kind of auto service." "Maybe," Marcus agreed. "But how would they know about that?" "I have a friend in the auto industry," Elon said, making a quick decision. "He's interested in how repair services should evolve with the rise of electric vehicles. Would you mind sharing your ideas with him?" Marcus looked surprised but nodded eagerly. "Sure, I've got plenty of thoughts on that." Elon handed him a business card with a phone number. "Call this number tomorrow." "It's me, Elon. I think you'll have a lot to discuss." The story took an unexpected turn. When Elon asked Marcus to stay in touch, not as a benefactor, but as a potential mentor, their relationship deepened. Marcus's insights into auto repair needs in underserved communities sparked ideas in Elon about grassroots sustainable transport solutions. Over the next few weeks, what began as casual phone calls evolved into regular meetings. Initially using only his first name, Elon listened to Marcus's ideas about community-level auto services and shared his expertise on electric vehicle technology and sustainable transport. Their discussions were broad and substantive. Marcus brought a practical understanding of the challenges car owners faced in low-income areas, the financial toll of unexpected repairs, the environmental impact of poor vehicle maintenance, the limited access to reliable services in certain neighborhoods. Elon, in turn, found Marcus's perspective refreshing and valuable. Much of his professional life had been devoted to envisioning transport on a global scale, developing cutting-edge technologies, and driving industry-wide revolutions. Marcus reminded him of the importance of accessible, practical solutions that could significantly improve everyday lives. "In my view," Marcus explained during one of their meetings, "the shift to electric vehicles will leave many communities behind if we don't address repair infrastructure. Most independent shops aren't equipped for EVs, and dealership service is too costly for many people." Elon nodded thoughtfully. "That's a significant gap in the ecosystem. What's needed to close it?" "Training is the biggest hurdle," Marcus replied without hesitation. "If independent mechanics had access to proper training and diagnostic tools, they could offer affordable EV services. But right now, that knowledge is mostly locked with manufacturers. Their conversations gradually expanded to include other aspects of community development and sustainable infrastructure. Marcus introduced Elon to his grandmother, a resilient woman whose life of hard work had instilled a wisdom beyond her limited formal education. Her perspectives on how transportation challenges affected elderly residents in their neighborhood added another valuable dimension to their discussions. 6 months later, Marcus graduated with top marks and worked at a local auto shop, developing a business plan for his own garage. The bond forged in a police cell had grown into a genuine friendship and professional mentorship. Under Elon's guidance, Marcus refined his business plan, secured a location for his future shop, and established partnerships with suppliers. He completed additional specialized training in EV maintenance, positioning himself as a service provider in a growing market. The garage where Marcus worked recognized his exceptional skills and dedication, promoting him to a supervisory role where he began implementing ideas like transparent pricing and customer education. He started offering free monthly workshops, teaching community members basic auto maintenance skills. These sessions quickly gained popularity, solidifying his reputation as a man committed to serving his neighborhood. Throughout this time, Marcus knew his mentor only as Elon, an experienced auto industry professional who had unexpectedly taken an interest in his success. He assumed Elon might be a mid-level manager or engineer at an auto company, someone with expertise but not widespread fame. When Marcus finally learned the truth, the revelation came naturally during one of their regular meetings. It happened at a local cafe where they often met to review Marcus's progress. Elon arrived a few minutes early and ordered their usual drinks. When Marcus arrived, he carried a magazine he'd picked up at a newsstand. "Hey," Marcus said, sitting down, "did you see this article about Tesla's new approach to service centers? It got me thinking about some things we've discussed." He opened the magazine to show Elon, then froze as his gaze shifted from the photo inside to the man across from him. The article featured a picture of Elon Musk alongside a story about expanding Tesla service centers. "Wait," Marcus said slowly, eyes widening. You're that Elon? Elon Musk?" Elon nodded, a faint smile on his lips. "Yes, that's me." Marcus leaned back in his chair, processing the revelation. "All this time, I've been getting advice from, and it was you," he said, shaking his head in disbelief. "Why didn't you tell me? Would it have changed anything?" Elon asked. "Would our conversations have been different if you'd known?" Marcus pondered this. "Honestly, probably yes. I'd have felt intimidated, thinking about who you are, instead of focusing on the ideas we talked about." "Exactly," Elon replied. "I valued our discussions because you didn't treat me as Elon Musk. You just talked with someone who shared your interest in auto tech and community work." "I'm grateful for what you did," Marcus said, "but I'm even more grateful that you listened to me when I was at my lowest. That meant more than the money." And it was true. The financial help removed barriers, but it was the genuine interest in his ideas and recognition of his potential that truly transformed Marcus's life. Being taken seriously, having his perspective valued by someone he now regarded as one of the world's most influential business leaders, gave him a confidence money couldn't buy. The wrongful detention led to a meeting that might never have occurred otherwise. Two men from vastly different backgrounds found common ground through shared values of hard work, second chances, and the importance of helping others succeed. For Detective Martinez, the incident served as a reminder not to rely on surface-level assumptions. The mistaken arrest of Elon Musk was regrettable but led to an outcome no one could have foreseen. Martinez witnessed firsthand how a simple act of kindness could alter someone's life trajectory. Inspired by this, he began advocating within his department for programs addressing the root causes of repeat offenses rather than just punishing their effects. He prepared a presentation on Marcus's case, altering names and identifying details to illustrate how punitive measures often trapped people in cycles of debt and legal issues, hindering their ability to become productive citizens. His advocacy resulted in a pilot program at the Austin PD, identifying low-risk offenders with rehabilitation potential and providing them with resources, educational opportunities, vocational training, and mentorship instead of processing them through the traditional legal system. This concludes our narrative journey. I trust you found this gripping saga of intrigue, cutting-edge innovation, and astonishing discoveries captivating. From where are you tuning in today? I'm curious to learn which corner of the globe this tale has touched. If this escapade held your interest, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for a steady stream of compelling, mind-expanding stories just like this one. Fresh material is posted frequently, ensuring you're always in the loop for the newest spellbinding adventures. Be sure to pass this video along to your loved ones and friends. It's a great way to share positivity and insight while expanding our circle of story enthusiasts. Your encouragement is invaluable. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to welcoming you back for the next tale.